What's the word, YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. You are now tuning into Wait a Minute TV. I just got in from watching Fantastic Four First Steps, and I have to say, it's about damn time, Marvel. Y'all really brought it back with this one. In this movie review, I'm going to give you all a brief synopsis of the movie. There will be spoilers, so with that being said, if you haven't seen the movie already, please click off this video, go watch the movie, and then return here after you have. I'll also be giving you all my take on what I liked and disliked with the movie. So, without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Fantastic Four First Steps takes place on Earth 828, not to be confused with Earth 838, where the Fantastic Four have protected the planet for 4 years thus far. Reed and Sue Richards are now expecting their first child, a development that brings hope, but also unimaginable danger. When a mysterious female Silver Surfer arrives on Earth, she brings an ominous warning. Galactus is coming, the devourer of worlds, and Earth is next. The Fantastic Four decide to intercept him before he reaches their planet, following the Surfer across the galaxy. When they finally confront Galactus, he makes them a chilling offer. He will spare Earth only if they give up their son. Why? Because their child, Franklin Richards, has cosmic abilities that would be able to satiate Galactus's hunger. Unwilling to sacrifice their child, the Fantastic Four flee, triggering an interstellar chase with the Silver Surfer in pursuit. They barely escape back to Earth, but must deliver devastating news. They failed to stop Galactus. Earth's reaction is brutal, with the planet turning on its heroes. Reed forms a desperate plan to teleport Earth to a new location in space. As the plan nears execution, the Silver Surfer strikes, destroying the devices and forcing Reed to improvise. In a last-ditch effort, he uses the last working portal to teleport Galactus himself, baiting him to Earth using Franklin's presence. An epic final battle erupts. The team manages to trap Galactus in the void of space, but at a great cost. Sue Storm dies. Just as despair sets in, Franklin, now born, unleashes his cosmic power, resurrecting his mother in a stunning display of what he is capable of. To me, this was one of the most satisfying Marvel movies in literal years. I was actually shocked. I didn't think that they were going to pull it off. I thought that they were going to give us another lackluster film, but they came through. There were several parts of this movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. The first thing that I liked about this movie was the world building. I felt like they did a thorough amount of world building in such a short time. It felt extremely retro futuristic, something akin to the Jetsons, which I felt was very fitting for this movie's version of the Fantastic Four. You could tell that a lot of this tech Reed Richards had his hand on creating, as far as the inner city workings and things of that nature. The second thing that I liked was that they got Galactus right. He wasn't this big puff of clouds like how he was in the original Fantastic Four series. He was very massive like how he was in the comic books, very powerful, strictly about his business, and had a very menacing presence. Honestly, I've been looking forward to them getting Galactus right since, I would say, phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that's just me though. Moving on. The third thing that I liked about this movie was that they didn't do bad at all with the Silver Surfer. Now, considering that they swapped genders for the Silver Surfer, which originally was a point of contention for some of the fans, I believe that this Silver Surfer stayed true to the original role of what the Silver Surfer was within the comics, and I had a great appreciation for that. She truly stood out as Galactus's hero. I loved all the action scenes. They were meaningful and had purpose. The scene in which they were being chased through space by the Silver Surfer was absolute cinema. That has to be probably my favorite scene within the entire movie, especially the fact that Sue Storm was giving birth to a cosmic being while simultaneously being chased through the cosmos. I also like the scene where they were fighting Galactus at the end because it shows how strong Galactus was, but it also shows how clever the Fantastic Four can get when they combine all four of their powers. I also enjoyed the serious tone of this movie. For the first time in a while, it felt like Marvel took all of its characters seriously. Every single actor and actress did an excellent job within their role, and you could feel the true raw emotion behind them with every scene. They also stayed true to the Fantastic Four members' characters, with Ben Grimm being the protector of the family, Johnny Storm being the hot shot of the family, Sue Storm being the heart of the family, and of course, Reed Richards being the big brain. Also, the special effects impressed me in this movie. Marvel has been doing such a subpar job with the special effects in movies for so long that I didn't expect this movie to be any different. But it actually wasn't that bad. There were actual scenes where you felt like you were in the movie, in my personal opinion. So the special effects had me thoroughly impressed. And last but not least, that post-credit scene was exactly what I wanted from Marvel. Long story short, Doctor Doom has entered the picture. And not only has Doctor Doom entered the picture, he is face to face with Franklin Richards, who at this point in time is only 4 years old. Now, if you know anything about Franklin Richards, if you know anything about Doctor Doom and how there may be a biological tie-in with Doctor Doom and the Richards family and how powerful Franklin is, then you understand why, as a nerd of the Marvel Comics, most of us geeked out when we saw this scene. I appreciate how they showed his arrival without revealing his face, although we all know that it's supposed to be Robert Downey Jr. reprising the role as Doctor Doom within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They hid his face for that kind of cliffhanger suspense that you would like in a post-credit scene. I thought that was cool. And on top of all of that, they were throwing subtle hints throughout the movie that Doctor Doom was present, but you never physically saw him until the post-credit scene. It felt very reminiscent of the early Marvel days. One of my biggest nitpicks that I have with the movie, which is probably close to my only nitpick, was that I felt like at certain times the movie pacing was slow. I don't feel like they rushed too much because they wanted to do some character development, but there were a couple of scenes that I could think of off the top of my head that were kind of lackluster. Like some of the debates that they were having, some of the discussions that they were having, but it didn't feel too much of a drag. All in all, I am super excited to see what direction they take Franklin Richards' character in throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, considering the fact that in the comic books, he's like super OP. And I'm hoping that they stay true to that character as they alluded to in the movie. And I'm also just hoping that they don't nerf him like they did certain characters throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thor! Excuse me. Now, I will say prior to this movie, I was not geeked at all, enthused in the slightest to see Robert Downey Jr. play as Doctor Doom, because in my mind, in my heart of hearts, bro is always going to be Iron Man. But after watching that post-credit scene, I am extremely intrigued to see what Robert Downey Jr. brings to the character of Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday.